Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Kicks and Slides, where we bring the beautiful game to life. It is I, your captain, as always, Moje. So, before we dig deeper into it, do not forget to like and subscribe and also engage in the comment section. But my goodness, is the Premier League back? Today's fixtures did not disappoint one bit. It starts off obviously with Newcastle versus Aston Villa, a game where in my prediction I saw a draw, but looking at the red card that Ezri Konsa got, Newcastle should have taken advantage of that and they should have won. Goes to show how much they really need a player like Isaac. Had Isaac been there, surely something would have given, surely there would have been a goal. And unfortunately it didn't, although Ilanga tried his level best and got on two, but they never really had like a clear-cut chance where they could have actually nicked one and went on to win. And that's very disappointing, actually, if you think of it, since Villa went really on their best form today, and also they go on to get a red card. What more does Newcastle want at this point? The players aren't really performing at their level best. They're home, and they also get a red card. That just needs a tap in, which obviously Newcastle failed to take advantage of. But other than that, I think a 0-0 score is better. It's better because with how much they kept missing chances, it would have really been painful had Aston Villa taken advantage of that and scored maybe in the dying minutes. So I suppose at this case, a 0-0 is enough for them. So there was also Spurs. Spurs played really, really, really well. And we also spoke about like how if they were to continue, playing like how they played against PSG in the Premier League this season, they would really be a force to be reckoned with. And judging from how they played today, they played extremely well. You look at Kudos, you just understand how much of a good buy he is. And one thing I've never really understood about Kudos is how good he is, and these good teams just don't seem to be interested in him. And I never really understood that. You can imagine him at Arsenal, you can imagine him at Liverpool. He will definitely make the cut. He will definitely make the cut. And lest we forget, this is a player that believes that Neymar is not better than him, whether he's telling the truth or not. But for him to actually think that, you gotta give it to him. He is self-confident, and it shows. It shows. And I look at his combination with Richarlison. Richarlison hasn't really been the same. When he was brought to Spurs, we had high hopes for him, and I don't think he has reached that. But maybe his combination with Kudos would prove otherwise. It might elevate him as a player, and we might see more of him this season. And to think about them, being interested in Savinho, and Eze also, he's very much interested in coming to Spurs. You can only imagine what they will do to the Premier League. The defenders, I feel sorry for them. And Thomas Frank has started off on a high. That's a very decent win. We expect, obviously, look, honestly speaking, I like Bendy. I would like it if they were to, not get relegated. But the Premier League is just too difficult this season. And when, they start off with a loss like that, it really puts a dent on their ambitions. So hopefully they find a way to turn things around and fight even better. Talking about the teams that have been promoted to the Premier League, there is also Sunderland. Yes, Sunderland were playing against West Ham today at the Stadium of Light, and my goodness, what an amazing game that was. The fans that were there, they chanted, they supported their team. You can see just how much it meant to them to be back in the Premier League. They were ecstatic, and they gave their players the momentum they needed, and the players obviously utilized that, because we saw just how good they were. They scored three goals, and they went on to win the game, of course. And to West Ham, I really think they're going to need to go to the market. Lucky for them, there's still at least 2 weeks, a few days until the transfer window closes. And I think they just need to go and get a new keeper, because with Hermansen, I don't think he's it. I think he's a championship level keeper. Looking at the goals that he conceded, any decent keeper definitely has that, but he doesn't, and they suffer the consequences. So if they are to survive, if Graham Potter is to keep his job, he definitely needs a new keeper, because what we saw today, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable, especially, losing to a team that just got promoted. He needs to do better than that. And I think also he was lucky he was away. You can imagine if he was home to lose like that. That's stressful, But the fact that he was away, I think it also helps him a little bit there. Then, of course, there's City, versus Wolves at the Molineux. City did extremely well. I mean, at first, obviously, when the game started, it looked like Wolves were going to put up a very good fight. But, I mean, Rangers is just a different breed, isn't he? While I was watching City, and I'm thinking they're definitely going to miss Kevin De Bruyne. They're definitely going to miss Kevin De Bruyne. Haaland was definitely not in on it. But who am I kidding? He is a very good elite striker. He might not be in the game, but once chances come, he'll definitely be involved. And that's exactly what we saw there when Rangers, beat two men and opens it up for his teammate. And then he passes it, obviously, to Lewis, and Lewis finds it. He finds that pass to Haaland, and Haaland just puts it in. And at this point, obviously, you're thinking, City are definitely going to devour these guys alive, especially with the chances that they had. Unfortunately, Munetsi always found himself offside. With the first one also, he could have actually scored that one. But unfortunately, the City defenders were very smart there, because, they came inside, leaving him outside alone. And obviously, once he has the ball, even if he scores or not, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that he's offside, and that's what happened. The second time around also, he misses that, lucky for him, but he was offside. So looking at how City were able to deal with Munetsi, that's very, smart of them. That is very well prepared of them. And going into the season, obviously, with today's clean sheet, you would actually bet on them. And I know a lot of people really don't see City challenging like that. But after today's performance, you gotta think they're definitely going to be in there. They're not probably going to just let Liverpool or Arsenal get one over them. And we saw Reinders, what a brilliant player he is. He's different, man. Look at the passes, his vision. He is what City needs. And going into the season, him and Haaland are definitely going to produce so many great moments. I saw it. And there was Cheiki too, who came in late in the game, and he also got one for himself. He's trying to tell Pep that, I gotta be in the starting 11. I am that good. So judging from today's games, I think this is, the Premier League. This is the Premier League. This is what we have been waiting for. This is what we have been starved from, for the past 2 months, when there was obviously a break. But are we glad that it is back. Then there's fixtures again tomorrow. There's going to be Arsenal versus Man United. That's one of the fixtures that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully it'll also give us, champagne football just as much as we have seen today. So thank you guys for watching until thus far. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and also engage in the comment section. Tell us your thoughts. Does City's way of play, does their win today change your mind about your, initial end of season winner? Does it? Or do you think they still maybe deserve to be third, just like how a lot of people, myself included, think? Thank you guys for watching. It is I, Moj, out. Bye bye.